You said you were considering military force to acquire Panama and Greenland. Are you also considering military force to annex and acquire Canada?
No, economic force.
You know, under my watch for Ontario, it'd never be for that at all. We have the greatest country in the world. We have the greatest province anywhere. Any sub-sovereign nation is Ontario and the rest of the provinces as well.
You think he's joking?
We would, you know something, to the president, I'll make him a counteroffer. How about if we buy Alaska and we'll throw in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the same time? So, you know, it's not realistic. I know he likes making these comments and he likes joking around. I take that seriously. He may be joking, but under my watch, that will never, ever happen.
There's a saying for the American tourist who travels abroad and expects the store owner to speak English and gets upset. It's called the ugly American. Unfortunately, we just elected the most ugly American, and he's showing his colors and how he cannot play well with even our allies. And all of us talk about annexing Canada. Him and his MAGA allies talking about annexing Canada. Well, Canadian officials are taking it seriously, because how can you not? This is somebody who's going to become president of the United States, who is literally the commander-in-chief of our military.
Mr. Trump, please, before making public pronouncements that Wayne Gretzky should run for prime minister, give yourself or get yourself a briefing on the nature of parliamentary democracy, a Westminster parliamentary system, and a constitutional monarchy where no one runs for prime minister. We have elections for members of parliament. We don't get to pick and choose among our billionaire friends for who gets a seat at the cabinet table. If they're not an elected member of parliament, well, Canadian system is different from that of the United States of America. I suggest that Mr. Trump find one of his grandchildren's school books and look at the year 1776, which may explain a few things to him about why our systems of government are different. I don't want to belittle Mr. Trump, but on the other hand, hey, Donald, have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province. How about it? California? Oregon? Washington? You've got geography in common with us. And not only that, we've already got a carbon trading system between California and Quebec.
You cannot assume that everything Trump says is a distraction, although it probably is, or something about his own ego, which it probably is. But we are on their border, and they have to, unfortunately, think about the things that Trump says, take it seriously, perhaps prepare responses. Well, this is what the Canadian premier had to say about Trump and his allies talking about taking over parts of Canada, if not all of Canada.
His history has been to create chaos in an attempt and in a confusion with humor, but then often those become policy statements and realities. So to dismiss it as a joke is, in my opinion, not the right thing to do. Well, that's where I'm going to. This is a strong and sovereign country, and it will always be a strong and sovereign country. And to have, unfortunately, our best friend, what I would say is threaten our sovereignty is completely unacceptable. Sovereignty comes at an incredible price. A price paid by blood, by Canadians and Newfoundlanders and Labradorians. And to try to take that away is going to come at a significant cost.
Speaking of that ugly American tourist, Don Jr. and Charlie Kirk traveled to Greenland. There's yet another thing I feel like I have to apologize for on behalf of the sane portion of America. We didn't want to have to send them over to you. Well, Danish Prime Minister, Greenland have said over and over, they're not for sale. But Trump isn't letting up on this. This could maybe be part of the reason why Elon Musk says that, hey, guess what? I'm not going to be able to find $2 trillion to cut from the federal budget like I promised, because our military budget is a huge portion of it. And evidently they don't want to touch that after all.
If we try for $2 trillion, we've got a good shot at getting one. And if we can drop the budget deficit from $2 trillion to $1 trillion, and kind of free up the economy to, have additional growth such that the output of goods and services it keeps pace with the increase in the money supply, then there will be no inflation.
Elon Musk is dropping his claim that he could cut $2 trillion from the federal budget, now saying half of that would be ideal. The co-chairman of the Department of Government Efficiency called the $2 trillion target the best case outcome, but said that half of that, $1 trillion, would create no inflation and be a, quote, epic outcome. Musk did not offer specific targets where the government can save in the interview.
In terms of saving money in the government, well, as you know, it's a very target-rich environment for saving money. Like if you look at any direction, it's like people's like, where will you find places to save money? I'm like, it's like being in a room full of targets. Like you could close your eyes and you can't miss.
DOGE currently has no direct power to make spending or regulatory cuts to the federal government, but Musk has strong influence in the MAGA wing of the Republican Party. Representative Jared Moskowitz has been supportive of some of DOGE's initiatives, becoming the first Democrat to join the DOGE caucus. Moskowitz said, quote, "If there are people with legitimate suggestions on how we can improve government efficiency, bring technology to government, or figure out where there's waste and fraud to save taxpayer dollars, we should do that."
Trump said that he was anti-war and we're spending too much on war. Well, surely the military budget would have been a place to cut from. But now that he's talking about taking over Greenland, Panama, and Canada, they're not talking about cutting that military budget. Could be why he can't even find close to that $2 trillion to cut from. Don Jr. and Charlie Kirk want to make Greenland great again. Again, apologies to Greenland. And Trump says that the wrong ships are around Greenland and he wants to change that. Again, never mind. Greenland is saying they're not for sale. Trump isn't letting up. Let's take a listen.
It needs security for itself, but it also needs security very much for the world. The location really, you see the people and the ships sailing around, and they're not the right ships, and they're not the ships you want to know about. So we need security, and our country needs it, and the whole world needs it.
Yes.
You're so strategically located.
Yeah.
So
You are right.
I want to thank everybody.
You guys like that, right?
Trump, in trying to make his case for why we should buy Greenland, decides to post a video from somebody from Greenland asking Trump to buy it. Well, as it turns out, according to Danish press, this man is a convicted drug dealer. This is the man, the only person evidently he could find, that wants Greenland to be, as Don Jr. says, great again.
Okay. So if you could tell Trump anything, what would it be?
Buy us.
Buy Greenland?
Buy Greenland.
Why do you want Trump to buy Greenland?
Because we don't want to be colonized by Danish government anymore. We get ripped every year about our minerals from Greenland. We are the richest nation in the world, and we don't get to use it. Denmark's using us too much.
Do you like America?
I love America, but people are too fat over there.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.